Hello everyone, this is Little Black Dragon and welcome to our final installment of Let's Play Dragon Age Origins-Dwarven Commoner Edition. In our last installment, Alistair swore that Ferelden would help the dwarves with the deep roads. We managed to say goodbye to all of our friends, and we are about to read the epilogue, which will show us what happened afterwards. And I mentioned quickly at the end of the video that I was pausing it so that I could read all of this to you. As you can see, I have my gamer tag out because this is the Xbox menu. And I did get a message from one of my watchers. I appreciate getting messages over YouTube and Tumblr and any of my other sites, but for the sake of my friends on Xbox and all that other stuff, I would request that you do not message me or request to be friends over Xbox. This is nothing against you guys, I would just prefer it that way. Anyway, like I said, I only had the menu up so I could pause. But anyway, let us read the epilogue and then say our farewells. Alright, so in the months that followed their wedding, Alistair and Honora proved themselves a surprisingly effective pair. Alistair spent a great deal of time at court, showing willingness to learn the art of governing from Honora, and often deferring to her judgment, and no one was more surprised by this than Honora herself. The two of them made numerous outings into Denerim and the other settlements in Ferelden, supervising the reconstruction process and greeting their subjects personally, much to the commoners' enthusiastic approval. Many said the chaos of the Civil War and Landsmeet were worth it for delivering such beloved monarchs. News that the Urn of Sacred Ashes had been found in Ferelden did not spread outside the Chantry until Brother Genitivi made an announcement several months after the defeat of the Darkspawn. The manuscript detailing his research and his experience with Andraste's cult drew huge interest among scholars throughout Thedas. Some years later, the Chantry announced that the resting place of Andraste's ashes had indeed been found. A ripple of excitement spread among the pious people of Thedas, with many undertaking pilgrimages to see the ashes or partake of their healing powers. Following months of effort, the Tower of the Circle of Magi was finally cleansed of the last spirits to slip through the veil. No further abominations were created, and the first enchanter was pleased to declare the circle safe. All that could be saved had been saved. With the slavers shut down in the alienage, the lot of the city-born elves improved for a time. The new king even named the local elder to his personal court, a scandal amongst the humans, but a new sign of hope to the elves. Shiani continued to be an outspoken member of the alienage community, and in time became the new elder. The outspokenness earned her frequent trouble, but served her people well. Arl Eamon remained in Denerim for some time, acting as Chancellor and Chief Advisor to King Alistair. Tegan ruled over Redcliffe in his stead, and was surprised to find himself well loved by the villagers, who were still grateful for the nights spent defending their lives. In time, Eamon abdicated in favor of his brother, an event the locals greeted with approval and enthusiasm. The young woman Caitlin eventually made it to Denerim in safety, and used the small fortune she received for her father's sword to open a foundry while the city rebuilt. The foundry did well, turning her into a wealthy and respected woman. By chance, she met Tegan again at court, and within months the two of them married. Bella, the tavern wench, made it to Denerim safely. With the money she was given, she opened a brewery of her own. The Dalish elves prospered after the siege at Denerim, having earned much respect for their part in the battle. For once, human lands welcomed the wandering folk. The new keeper, Lanaya, was respected both amongst the Dalish as well as in the Ferelden court. She was a voice of reason, and other Dalish clans would turn to her to help resolve disputes with human folk. In time, many of the Dalish clans moved to the new land provided for them in the south near Ostagar. Wary of the human neighbors, however, tensions soon rose again, and only Kieberlania's leadership kept peace alive. In Orzammar, King Balin quickly proved himself a reformer. Trade with the surface lands increased, and caste restrictions were loosened. The casteless were permitted to take arms against the Darkspawn in exchange for new freedoms. For the first time in generations, the line in the deep roads were pushed back and a few tigers were reclaimed. Balin's reforms quickly found him enemies within the warrior and noble castes, however, and after several assassination attempts, the assembly was dissolved. The king then ruled alone, some said as a tyrant, others said as a visionary, determined to drag Orzammar into the modern world. The assembly unanimously declared Gilda a living paragon. Following months of deliberation, a new statue was erected in the Commons and a new house founded in the paragon's name, quickly drawing a great number of followers from every caste. Brother Berkel's new chantry in Orzammar drew a surprising number of converts among the dwarves. They quickly attracted a great deal of anger from more conservative quarters, and before long the assembly severely restricted the Andrastians' rights. Brother Berkel resisted and was slain while being arrested during a peaceful demonstration in the Commons. The assembly claimed this was an accident, but news of the resulting riots reached the chantry on the surface, where the divine even contemplated a new exalted march. The dwarven mage, Dagna, ultimately completed her studies at the rebuilt Circle Tower. Eventually, she published a comprehensive theory of how lyrium vapors relate to the supply of magic. It gained a great deal of attention. Although the Anvil of the Void was destroyed, rumors about its location crept into Orzammar. Years later, thanks to the defeat of the Darkspawn on the surface, a few determined smiths managed to locate the Anvil's remains. They examined the ruins of the Anvil, and upon returning to Orzammar with their findings, convinced the Shaperate to attempt to recreate Caridin's research. A new golem was created, bound with a spirit taken from the Fade. The golem immediately went insane, killing several Shapers before it was destroyed. Research was branded excessively dangerous and sealed away. Whispers of its existence circulated throughout Orzammar, however, and demand among the Smith caste to reopen Caridin's research and refused to abate. As good as her word, Morrigan disappeared once the archdemon was slain. Someone of Morrigan's description was seen traveling alone months later, heading west through the Frostback Mountains, and she may even have been with child. As for Gilda's companions, they went their separate ways. Alistair was relieved to be away from court at last, and returned with his love to help rebuild the Grey Wardens. He left her side only briefly to return to Duncan's home and plant a small memorial. I think this might be a little glitch, but it's still a nice thought. As for the blighted lands began to heal and the Grey Wardens slowly rebuilt the order in Amaranthine, they discovered that the fight against the Darkspawn was not yet complete. Although the Horde was routed and had dissolved upon the Archdemon's death, many of the more powerful Darkspawn survived to organize roving warbands that preyed upon the land and upon each other. These warbands spread havoc and some even journeyed west into Orlais or crossed the shining sea by the deep roads. They proved incredibly difficult to wipe out. But these are tales yet to be told. This tale ended when Gilda sank her blade into the archdemon's head and destroyed it forever. It was not the last thing Ferelden would hear of her, however. Well, everyone, this is the end. And honestly, I am very proud to say I have completed my very first Let's Play. I want to thank everyone so much for their support. I look forward to making more Let's Plays in the futures to come. I just can't seem to talk properly today, but it is a very sad day as I have to say farewell to Dragon Age Origins and look forward to Awakening and Witch Hunt and Dragon Age 2 and eventually Dragon Age Inquisition. but I am very excited as well, since I will get to journey with new people and see new faces and learn new tales of Ferelden and the rest of Thedas. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you around some other time. And with that, I say farewell.